Welcome back, dear viewers. Creativity can take many forms, from the spaces we design to the art we create, and even the experiences we share with others. My guest today is someone whose journey brings many of those worlds together. Fatemah Hammad is an artist and entrepreneur with a background in interior architecture, whose passion for creativity has shaped both her personal and professional journey. Fatemah, welcome to Hala Kuwait.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So let's get right into it about art and creativity. It's very interesting to know, what kind of child were you? Were you always creative or curious?
As a child, I remember I was always wanting to try new things, explore different mediums, and try different things, like as a kid in general. And I was interested in art from a very young age, and my parents were very supportive in that. So they let me try different mediums, different kinds. Whenever I ask if I want to try, for example, painting, crochet, or let's say, and music. So they were very open to that. So I was very curious to learn different forms of art from a young age.
Wow, mashallah, that's very interesting. And how has being an artist shaped the way that you see the world?
It changed a lot of perspectives, and the way I see it in details. I notice different details whenever I enter a space, whenever I see different art around me. I notice things more differently now.
Okay.
The more I grow, the composition of things.
Can you give us an example about that? How one moment in the world you see it in a different way?
For example, when I do photography as well. I'm walking in the street and I see like a building next to like a certain angle of a building. Let's say architectural or urban photography. I see a different an angle. I just stop and take a photo, for example, in Blocat or like that. You see there's different views and angles and compositions in Kuwait City that are very interesting. This is one example.
That's so interesting that you can, you're describing it and I can see it from that artist's point of view. And so you studied, you mentioned interior architecture. What did that teach you about people and success?
Interior architecture, it's a major that I learned a lot about different fields, because when you design for people and design for different kinds of different fields, for example, you will design a hospital or a coffee shop or a house. So you learn a lot about different personalities, different kinds of design. So it taught me to see the world and to see the design from different point of views and different perspective, and to see it from the point of the perspective from the person who's using the space.
Oh, okay.
So that's what one of the things I learned about people, like to see the space from their point of view,
right?
To design it for them.
Wow, that's amazing. And what makes a space feel meaningful to you, per se?
A space has different elements. It doesn't have to be like the visual elements. It complements the space, the visual elements, of course, the aesthetics, but how a space feels is different, and the elements that we include in the space and how it makes us feel. Like sometimes simple things we put in the space can make us feel differently. For example, there is when you enter a space, the first thing we notice as human is the smell, not the visual, like scientifically. Okay. So this is part of like how we experience the space.
So you say, for example, the five senses, you know?
Exactly.
The smell is one of them, and then the sight and touch. Yeah, that's very interesting. So one of those senses, I would say, smell is probably important to you.
Yeah, the textures and the things you include in any space, they make the space meaningful and memorable as well.
Yes, very true. And how did your work in the F&B industry change the way that you think about experiences?
Working in the food and beverage industry, it's changed a lot, and like I started to learn a lot about people, because when you design a retail place or a cafe, you see it from the person who's entering the space and experiencing the space. So you make it the experience of the person who's like buying the coffee or having buying something from the place memorable and very easy also. It's not only about the space looking good. It has to look good, but it's also the experience. If it was easy for them to access, to see the counter, or like grab the merchandise, or like their experience in the space.
So the customer experience, let's say.
Yes.
You want to take them through that kind of artistic journey.
Exactly. Also the employees who are working, it has to be functional for them as well, in order to make it more successful experience for both. To make it a fast, let's say they're fast delivering the coffee, or like when you design the space in a way that makes it easy for the person working there, easy to do their job and to deliver for the people, the customers, let's say, it's also it's good for both.
So in return, you would get customer satisfaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of aspects when designing. It's different when you design a house, or it's totally different.
Yeah, I see it from your angle. That's very well said. And so you often bring people together through creativity. Why is that important, especially to you?
I like bringing people together because like when we gather around one table, let's say, and when I create the workshops, I host workshops, and when I host the workshops or the, let's say, dinners, it brings the human connection. And when we interact in real life with people that, let's say, you don't know, and you share ideas, creative ideas, it brings something.
Right.
Like, let's say there is an idea that you didn't have before, that you can have when you interact with different people. And when we are always like, it's a different way to explore ideas. And like we are all on our phone, so
Right.
a human connection, it's
necessary.
Yes.
Yeah. And on that topic, what do you think people gain from creating something together?
They gain a lot of, like, a lot of people like come out with new friends. It doesn't have to be also having new friends. It's having something with you, like the experience, the memory of that place, of that experience. For example, when I host dinners, and when people with people that you don't know, that you meet on around one table and have dinner, and they meet people and they like share stories. Sometimes people meet people that like they were friends for like they knew each other from childhood, and then now they meet in that workshop. So it's like, it's a very nice way to
connect people, probably.
Yes.
That's amazing. And so you mentioned about your parents when you were a child. You come from a family of artists, that's correct?
Yes.
How has that influenced your creative journey?
It influenced it a lot because my mother is a baker. I consider her work as art as well.
Mashallah, yes, it is.
And my father is a mosaic artist, and he used to paint when I was a kid. And like he always support, like both my parents, when they see me asking to do something new, or I want to learn something new, they're always supporting and they're open to it. And my father also, like I see him working on the mosaic art. He's a mosaic artist, and it's very inspiring because he has a lot of new ideas. And growing up in this environment, it shaped the way I see the world and how I approach art as well.
Wow. And did you ever try mosaic art out of curiosity?
Honestly, I tried, but it's not for me.
Okay, so it's your father's own
Yes.
thing. That's amazing to hear that you have your parents and family support, and mashallah, you know, turned you into the person you are.
Thank you.
Actually, with that, we'll take a short break. We have a report coming up for you, dear viewers, and after that, we'll be back to continue our discussion. Stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers. After watching that report, we hope you enjoyed it. We are back here with our guest, Fatemah, entrepreneur and artist. We'll continue our discussion. And so, what do you think people gain from creating something? You described yourself as an adventurer, and we talked a little bit off the screen about mountaineering and climbing mountains. You were saying how, mashallah, you've climbed so many mountains. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
Can you repeat my experience in mountaineering?
Yes.
Yes. So, like around 10 years ago, I started this journey, and it was on and off. I started in 2016 with Kilimanjaro in Africa, and like I fell in love with mountains since then. It was something that opened up my heart, let's say.
And where do you think that side came from, that love for, mountaineering or adventuring?
Honestly, I don't know, but I was shocked that I had this side, the curiosity to explore and to see different parts of the world. I had this since I was like the curiosity part, I had it, and when I had a chance to do something different, I said, like, let's try something different. And I was very introverted, and when I went to the mountain and came back, and my parents saw the difference in my personality.
Wow.
Because I was I came back different, and I don't know, yeah.
So climbing, what has that taught you about yourself, you would say? That you are extroverted, or are you, say a little bit about that?
I'm a mix of both. Depending on the situation, and I learned that I'm very patient because mountains, you spend long days there and long hours climbing, and this taught me like if I'm willing to be patient in the mountain, I'm patient in a lot of things, and taking the risk and going to the mountain itself is something that like taught me other things in my life, to take steps in other aspects of my life. Wow. And it
gave you the courage.
Yes, it gave me the courage, and I'm not scared to do anything. If I can climb a mountain, I can do anything.
That's amazing.
That's something that mountaineering taught me, and the nature and spending time there.
That's really amazing, mashallah. And so do you see a connection between climbing and creativity with the artistic side?
Yes. In the past, maybe I thought that maybe I had these parts that are not connected. I have different passions, but I realized that they are all connected in a way. And whenever I go to the mountain or I go to a mountaineering trip, I come back inspired, and the beauty you see in nature, the textures, the rocks, the nature, the leaves, it stays very strong in my memory, and I come back inspired to create.
So it's a form of inspiration then. It will give you full inspiration to come back and paint.
A very big inspiration, and a lot of my paintings are inspired by these mountains, the lines, it's
beautiful. I totally agree with you, because I have that same passion for mountains, so that's very beautiful. And what is one misconception people have about living a creative life, do you think?
Misconception is it doesn't have to be like, sometimes we don't have to be always, sometimes we have creative blocks and we don't always have creative ideas. It's normal that we have this block from time to time. Yes. It's fine that
an artist block.
Yeah, an artist block. It's normal, and we don't need to be creative the whole time. That's why we should create often and experience. Practicing more of creativity is very important, because when you don't practice creativity, it's training. It's like training your mind, and it's not always about the talent or the genes, or it's about the practice.
Right.
The more you practice, the more you develop the creative ability, and you become better. It's not because I'm talented, because I'm always like this.
100%. But do you believe that there has to be initial talent, you think? Or do you think anybody can, for example, with the practice, go ahead and do this?
Practice is important, and talent, it gives an add to the art, but the practice is what makes the 90% of the artwork, and the discipline in learning the art itself. And like when you practice every day, it's different like when you practice, let's say, every month or
right, yeah. Practice makes perfect, they say, right?
Exactly.
Very
yes.
well said. And so when people experience something that you've created specifically, what do you hope that they take away with them?
When I create the creative, the pieces I create, it's mostly they are felt. So the feeling you have is different from person to person when you experience the pieces that I make. Different people see it differently, and they interpret it differently. But most importantly is the feeling you get out of the piece when you see it, because sometimes some people see like it reminds them of something. It reminds them of a certain memory, of a certain place. For me, it reminds me of a certain place, of a certain mountain. This is my interpretation, but it's different when someone else perceives it. It's based on their memory and how it makes them feel. So this is the feeling like when they see the artwork.
Okay, that's very inspiring, Fatemah. And you know, with that, I think we've run out of time for our show. But thank you so much for joining us here today. I think our dear viewers out there are very inspired by you being here. Do you have one last thing you would like to say to people who are watching?
Yes.
Go ahead.
If someone they want to do something, it's important they take a very one step at least. It doesn't have to be a big step. It can be a very small step, but take a step towards what you want.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fatemah, for joining us. And with that, that was our guest, Fatemah Hammad. And we'll take a short break and we'll be back. Stay tuned.